Hello all, in this video we will talk about Java arguments and parameters. To understand these in detail, we will start with few simple examples. Okay. So in the last video we already know that we were invoking bark of method on the dog. Okay. So if you look at the bark of method, inside the braces you don't have anything. These are the empty braces, and whatever the logic that is there inside the bark of method, it is dependent on the size instance variable. Okay, it is dependent on the instance variable. But sometimes what happens is the method logic has to be dependent on the method variables or local variables as well. Okay, so what does that mean? If you look at this set state of method, right, inside the braces it has some int size. Okay, and what it is doing, it is setting this size, like it is taking this value and setting that value to the instance variable. Okay, now let's say it want to set the name as well, string name, and it can do the same thing, string dog name. Okay, string dog name, and here if you see this dot name equal to dog name. So what we are doing here, you are taking the dog name and then you are setting it to the name. So if you closely observe these methods, for this method it don't have anything defined here, but for this method it has few things defined. So whatever is there inside the braces, right, these are called as the parameters. So this is the method, set state method. In the method definition, you have two variables declared, or you have two variables declared, size variable and the dog variable. Okay, these are called as the parameters of the method. So method parameters are the ones which are provided in its declaration inside the braces. These are also called as the method inputs, because whenever you invoke, like let's say you want to invoke set state of method, you should pass these values. So basically you are giving these values as the input to the method. Okay, and using these values you can have some logic written based on these values. Let's explain that. Okay, so what we have done here, you have created new dog object. Okay, you did not set size and name by default. Like instance variables have default values. For integer, 0 is the default value, and for objects null is the default value. Now this particular dog does not have any name and the size. When you invoke dog.setState of, what you are doing is you are passing the size and name. When you invoke these method with these values, inside that you are setting the size and the name. Let's see here. Let me print the dog.name. Okay, so let me do that. Dog.name plus I'll do dog.size. Okay, let me do that. So here when you invoke dog.setState of, you should pass these values in size and the dog name. What if I don't pass? It will throw error. When the method declared, when the method definition has these values, whoever is invoking that method has to pass these values, and these values are also according to the order. Like you can think that okay, it needs size and the name. I'll pass name first and then I'll pass size later. Okay, as the second one. It will throw error, because what compiler does is it will check the type. So first thing here, it has declared size. Okay, and the caller is passing string. So method needs integer variable, but the caller is passing the string value. So it will throw error. Here if you see the second variable, second parameter is the name, whose type is string. Okay, so it also needs a string value, but here you are passing 12. Okay, so what it does is, whatever the values you pass, it goes and checks the type. First thing here, like it interprets, since you have given in the double quotes, it interprets that it is a string. It goes and check what is the type of the first parameter. It is integer, so it will throw error. And it will check what is the second parameter. These guys are passing integer. Okay, now here you have the string. Integer can't be converted into the string, right? So it will throw error. The same thing you can see here. Okay, so if you see, required size required type int, but you have provided string. Here dog name required type is string, but you have provided integer. So it will Java cares about type. It will check the type. Like without, if the types of both variables are same, right? Then you can pass anything. Let's say first value and the second value both are of integer types. Now what you can do is you can pass 12 12. Okay, it will work fine. So what Java does is, whatever the first value you pass, it will go and it will set for this parameter, and whatever the second value it pass, it will go and check and it will set the dog name. Java cares about, like method parameters cares about the type and order as well. Like whatever the first value you set, it goes in the first parameter only. It will not go for the second parameter. And here if you look at it, you pass two values 12 and 12 for size and the dog name. But inside the method you have used only size. You did not use dog name. That is fine. Like it won't throw any error, but it will give you warning that, so if you are not using this dog name in the method, what is the need of accepting it? It will give you that warning, but it will not throw error, okay? But you can pass any number of arguments, like you can pass string name, any number of, like you can define any number of parameters in the method definition. The only rule is the caller, whoever is invoking this method, for sure they should pass all these values in the specified order, okay? So here whatever the things we have mentioned in the method definition, these are all called the parameters. And what I mean by arguments here, this is the caller, right? This particular person, this dog is invoking this set state of method. So this particular dog is called as a caller, and caller passes these values. These are called the arguments. So whatever values that caller passes or invokes are called as the arguments, and whatever things that are defined in the method are called as the parameters. And let us see few more examples here, okay? Now if you see, whatever the method bark we have defined here, it did not have any method parameter. Let us assume it has parameters, okay? So it has parameter, it is accepting number of barks. Let's say you want a dog to bark for 5 times. That 5 times or 6 times, it's according to the user. User can say, like user can pass these many number of times the dog should bark, okay? Now the bark of method, we have the parameter number of barks, and using this while loop, how many ever times the number of bark value is there, you can make the dog bark. We can do the same thing here, okay? We will copy this logic and then we will run that out. Let's see. Here, before we did not have any parameter. Before we did not have any parameter to the bark of object. Now what we have is, it want the dog to bark for number of bark times, okay? So person, whoever is invoking the bark of method, they should pass this. Let's see. What I'll do is, I'll make this dog bark for 5 times, okay? So if you make the dog bark for 5 times, you should see this rough, okay? Let us run this file and see. So here we are using while loop, and this will run till the number of barks is greater than 0. Here you are reducing the value by -1. We will discuss about these while loops later, okay? Let's see. Here if you see the system.println, rough, how many times you have rough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because you have passed value as 5. Let's see, you remove this and then you want dog to bark only for 2 times. Let's run that. So if you see here, the dog has barked only for 2 times. So what had happened here? You have passed number of times the dog should bark, and based on that a logic is written here. And this is called as a parameter, and this one here the caller is passing the value as 2. This one is called as an argument, okay? So this is what about the method parameters. And sometimes the methods will also have the return types. Let's see that as well. Okay. Now if you see, I have defined a give secret of method. So if you look at bark method or set state method, you have this return type as void. Basically, it is not returning anything. You are passing something and it is using that value and executing some logic. Here you are passing number of barks, it is using that value and executing some logic, but it is not returning anything. But sometimes what happens is you want something to be returned by method as well. Okay, in those cases, instead of void, what you can do is you can define the type of the value that this method returns. So here you have, instead of void, you have declared int. Okay, now it might it might give you the float as well, like 42.2f as well. It might give float as well. So basically what you have, like if a method is returning something, you have to specify the type of the value that the method is returning. Okay, now here if I invoke give secret of methods, here the method is not accepting any parameters, but it is returning something. If you look at bark method and set state of method, you don't have any return thing. You don't have any return. Okay, so what happens is, if a method wants to return something, two things that you have to do. First, go and change the method definition. Go and change the method definition from void to the type whatever you want to return. Okay, that is the first thing. And the second thing is, inside the method you use return keyword, and return keyword is the end of the method execution. Okay, and at the end of the method execution, let's say you write something system.out.println. Okay, hi, it will not get executed because return is the final statement of the method. Okay, now it will throw error, unreachable statement, because once this return statement is done, post that whatever the logic is there, it will not get executed. If it is not getting executed, what is the use of writing these statements? Okay, two things. When you want a method to return something, first declare the type, whatever the value it is returning, and the second thing is return that. If you don't return anything, it will throw error. Okay, let's see. It threw, because if you see that, if you see here the error, missing return statement. Okay, add return statement. You should return something. Okay, so let's see here 12.2f. 12.2f, and this value, what it does is it will check whether it is matching this type or not. Okay, whether this value is matching its type or not. And sometimes what happens is, let's say you declare here int, but you are passing byte. Okay, byte b equal to 3. Now it will work because implicitly, like let's say you have integer. Okay, here also you declare integer. Now this will work fine because byte is a smaller value, and as we have already discussed in the previous video, smaller values can be typecasted to the larger values by default. So Java compiler by default, because integer range is larger than the byte range, so whatever the values that are present in the byte, that can be put in the integer as well, so it will not throw any error. You can return, like though the byte value here the 3 has put in the byte variable, but here it is expecting the int. What compiler does is, so byte can be typecasted to the integer, right? So automatic typecasting compiler does, and it will not throw any error and it will work fine. Let's say here you need byte. Okay, byte, and then here also you need byte. Now this is an integer. Now this will throw error because byte range is shorter than the integer, right? So if you are typecasting the shorter one to the longer one, it will definitely fail. Like you have a cup of tea of 1 liter and you are trying to pour it in the 500 ml cup, it will not work. But if you have a 500 ml coffee and you need to pour that in a 1 liter coffee, 1 liter cup, it will definitely work. The same thing is here. Byte range is shorter and you are putting the longer range onto the shorter range. It will definitely fail. See, required type is byte and the int. But if you are using with the integer, it did not fail, right? Because byte range is shorter. Okay, byte range is shorter, it will definitely work. Since the byte range is shorter, it can be typecasted to the integer. And one more thing is, there is one more thing you can do to remove, like to avoid these typecasting errors. Let's say you need a byte and you have this integer value. Compiler is throwing error, right? In these cases, what you can do is, you can do this conversion as well. So if you want the larger value to be typecasted to the shorter one, if you want integer value to typecast to the shorter one, by default compiler will not allow it. For the compiler to not throw error, you can do this typecasting. Okay, here the value you are passing is integer, but you want that as a byte. You can put that type in the braces as well, that will still work. So smaller values can be converted to the larger values without anything. It by default compiler will do. There are no errors. If you want the longer values to get converted to the shorter values, you have to explicitly do the typecasting. Okay, now let's see. Let me, and here the give secret of method, whenever you invoke this give secret of method, right, it will get this 3 value, and it's up to us whether to use this value or not. See, like if I want to use the value that is written by this method, what I can do is I can assign it. I can assign it to any variable, and I can use this variable value in some other methods or in the below statements. If I don't want to use that value, I can just ignore that. Okay, this method will return it, but you are not using it. And one more thing here is, whatever the type you declare here, that should match this type. If I declare int here, it will throw error. Okay, see, let's see, byte can be converted. Okay, let's see, I will declare float b of give secret. Let's see here, what happens is integer, and then you have, I'll return byte. Okay, here I'll write byte. Now, what you are doing is, let's say I want byte. If you see here, this type and this type should match. And if this value is larger than, and let's say if I declare float, okay, it did not give error because float range is larger than the integer range. So the smaller integer range values can be put in the float range, right? That's why it did not throw any error. But if I do byte, right, what it does, integer range is larger than the byte range. That's why it threw error. So you can do special typecasting here, as we have discussed in the previous, like before. And one more thing is, let's say it is declaring integer value and you want to put that as a boolean, it will throw error. Even the typecasting don't work. Typecasting work only, like let's say byte has 3. Okay, so this 3 comes in the integer range as well. Then you can do the typecasting, but you can't typecast integer value to the boolean value. See, even if I do typecasting, it won't work. So typecasting works only within a specified type. Specified type is like within the numerics, right? So if you see, minus 127 to 120, minus 127 to 127 is the byte range. Okay, and the integer range is something else. So here the integer range is something else, minus 240. This is the integer range. Let us see. And integer range is from this minus 214 to the plus 214, right? So what happens is, let's say you have an integer value 5. Let's say the integer value is 5, and this 5, whatever the value 5 is in byte range also. So by default, if you return byte here, like by default if you write byte, compiler will throw error, because what compiler thinks that, let's say if integer value whatever you are using is beyond this 127, it can't put it in the, you can't put that value in the byte, right? But if the value of the integer variable b is in between minus 127 to 127, then you can do explicit typecasting and you can make that work. The only reason why the compiler throw error is, it could be that whatever the value you have declared could be outside, like it's greater than plus 127 or lesser than minus 127, which can't be put it in the byte variable. But if the integer value falls between minus 127 to the 127, you can do the explicit typecasting. So that is why the explicit typecasting is there. but it will not allow to typecast integer values to the string values or boolean values. Here what we have done, you are typecasting boolean value. Now what I can do is I can do this explicit typecasting, because this will work, because the 5 value is also under the byte range, you can still use it. But here what you are doing conversion from the byte to the boolean, which is not possible, because these false boolean is true or false, which is quite different from these numeric ranges. Okay, so what is the like what we can say is, if a method wants to return something, mention the return type and then return the value. And also if you are using that value, specify that type as well. Here if you see, you are using that value and you are setting that value to a variable, and even this type should match this type. Okay, if that type should match this type, and even sometimes let's say it is returning the integer value. Okay, let's say it is returning the integer value, and since 5 falls in the byte range, you can do the explicit typecasting like this will work. Okay, so these are the few rules that you should follow. And let's see here what happened is, let us think that inside the go of method, what we are doing, we are invoking the take two of method. So this take two of method has two parameters, so you should pass 12 comma 34, and then what it does is it will do some operation addition logic and then it will invoke the value. Okay, and here let's see, you are invoking in the inside the go of method, what is happening, it is also invoking the take two method by passing two values. Okay, but the way it is passing the values are different. Here it is passing directly 12 comma 34 here, but here what it has done, it has set 7 and 3 inside two variables. Okay, inside two integer variables, and it is passing those variables. That will still work. Let's see with the with the diagram. So here what it has done is life dot give secret. So give secret is returning 42, and this return type. Okay, if you look at it here, the method return type should return type should match the return type that you are setting the value. Okay, and whatever the 42 value, it gets converted, and those are copied to this variable. Okay, now one more thing, Java strictly follows pass by copy. Like it copies the values. It's pass by value. Okay, it copies the value. What does that mean? Let's see. You have this method void go of int z. Okay, and inside the z of method, you are changing the value of z equal to 0. What happens? Let's see. Now first initially what you have int x equal to 7. So what happens, you will have a variable for integer, and then 7 gets converted to the bytes, and you will set these bytes, like you will insert these bytes inside this variable. Okay, now void go of int z. Okay, so int z is also a variable. Now you have a variable, you created a holder for z, but now you don't have any value inserted. Now what happens is, let's say you are invoking this method foo.goOf by passing x. So what you are doing is, you are invoking goOf method by passing this x value. What happens inside is, here if you look at this statement, you are invoking goOf by passing x value. Here x type and the z type are matching, so it will not throw any error. You can pass this. When you pass it, what happens is, whatever the bits that are present inside this x variable, those gets copied to the z variable. Okay, here if you look at it carefully, this 7 value, here you have two variables, int x and int z. Int x has these bits, and when it invokes goOf method with x value, whatever the bits that are present, those gets copied here. The same thing you can see here, it will have a copy. And if you make any changes to this z value, right, if you make any changes to z, it will not impact x, because you are changing the bits that are present inside this holder. You are not touching this x value. X value will still remain same. if you see here, let's say you have passed these values, like you have passed this 7 value to the z. So now both will have 7 7, or both will have these bits. But inside this void go of method, what you have done, you have set z equal to 0. When z equal to 0, only these bits are impacted, these bits are not impacted. As soon as you invoke a method by passing the bits that are present, these bits are just copied. Okay, you, like when you make changes to this variable, these bits are not impacted because you are making a copy. You are not directly using x variable inside the z. You are not doing that, you are just copying the values. Okay, that's why you call Java as a, like it uses copy when it invokes the method. Like you can see pass by value. And we have looked at, like here what we have done, we have used the primitive values. What if you use the reference variables, like if you want to pass dog object and all. We will talk about how these method parameters copying works for the reference variables in the later videos. Okay, so Java uses the pass by value, it copies the values. So even inside the method, if you something changes to the z value, it will not impact the x. Okay, yeah. Now if you look at it, we understood what we have discussed is, we have discussed about the parameters and the methods. So parameters are the one that you declare inside the method. Okay, and arguments are the one that the caller invokes. And a method parameter can be, it can have any number of parameters, and you should declare the type as well. When the caller is invoking the method, it should pass, Java is strict about that type, it should pass all the values that are required by this method with the type that is mentioned here. It should pass, like let's say if you have two parameters, you should pass two parameters, and it should follow the type that is mentioned here. And one more thing is, we discussed about the return types as well. So if a method is given void, it is not returning anything. But if it is returning something, you should declare the type here, and you should return the same value. And if you are using that value, whatever the type you declare, it should match this. And we discussed about the conversions as well. Like if smaller like if you are setting smaller values inside the longer values, then compiler will take care of it. But if you want to typecast, if you want to return longer when the method is expecting shorter value, and if you are returning the longer value, then explicitly you have to typecast it. And even that explicit typecasting works only within a specified range, like integers. It will not work with the booleans and characters. Okay, that's it. Thank you.